Welcome to the Computer Literacy Center's online instructional videos. Today, we will fill in a table of data using cell references and the fill handle. My name is Luke Davis, and I will guide you through this tutorial. In this video, we will apply absolute and relative cell references to calculations. We will then use the fill handle to extend our calculations to other cells in a table. If you would like to follow along, make a copy of the start file that is bundled with this module. As we can see, I previously calculated the monthly payment for a loan of $20,000 at an interest rate of 6% per year over the course of 60 months. Now, our goal is to fill out this monthly loan payments table using one calculation and applying the fill handle to fill out the monthly loan payments while taking into account different loan amounts and rates. First, let's calculate the monthly payment of a loan of $15,000 at a 5% interest rate using cell references. Let's double-click cell F10, type an equal sign, then type -PMT to invoke the payment function, and finally press Tab to accept the suggestion. The rate that we want is in cell E10. Let's select that cell to reference it in our function. Then, we divide our rate by 12 because these are monthly payments. For number of periods, we select cell B4, and for present value, we select cell F9. Let's press Enter. Our monthly payment is $283.07. Now, let's apply this calculation to the other interest rates. To do so, we select our cell that contains the function, then click and drag the fill handle to the bottom of the table. That didn't seem to do what we expected it to. The reason why we are getting errors in our cells is because we need to use absolute cell references. So, let's practice using absolute and relative cell references over to the side so we can better understand what's going on. In Google Sheets, cell references are relative by default. This means that as the fill handle moves, so do the cell references. In this first table, we are going to add together the two given numbers. We perform this calculation by typing an equal sign under our total header in cell N5. We then select our first number, then type the addition symbol, then select our second number, and finally press Enter. Sometimes, Google Sheets displays a suggested autofill box asking if we would like the rest of the table to be calculated. Normally, this is helpful, but right now we are applying the fill handle ourselves. If the box appears, we click on the X to make it disappear. Now, let's select cell N5, then click and drag the fill handle to the bottom of the table to fill in the rest of the cells. We can see that Sheets takes the calculation from the first cell and follows the pattern of adding the two cells next to it. When we drag the fill handle down, the calculation moves down as well. When we double-click on cell N5, we see that the equation says L5 plus M5, which are the two cells next to it. Then, when we double-click on cell N6, we see that the equation now reads L6 plus M6, which are again the two cells next to it added together. Therefore, Google Sheets followed the pattern of adding the two cells together, just like we wanted. Absolute cell references need to be manually entered so Google Sheets knows what specific cells, columns, or rows we would like to use in our calculations. These references can be located in different cells within the current spreadsheet or workbook. The data within the cells will be referenced even as the fill handle extends our calculations into new cells. In the next table, let's practice applying absolute cell references. In cell M16, underneath Total, let's type an equal sign, then select cell L14 where the number 10 currently resides. Unlike the previous example, we want Sheets to always reference back to this specific cell when performing calculations in other cells. To create an absolute cell reference, we press the F4 key on our keyboard. We'll notice that the cell reference reads $L, $14. If the F4 key isn't working on your computer, you can simply type a $sign before the letter L and the other one before the number 14. Now, let's type an asterisk for multiplication and select cell L16. When we press Enter, our total is 10. We can now use the fill handle to fill in the rest of the table. We see that each number is multiplied by 10. Let's click on cell M19 next to the number 4. Its function reads our absolute cell reference times our first number. Therefore, Google Sheets continue to multiply each of our numbers by our absolute cell reference, which is currently 10. A small note to point out is that we are creating an absolute reference for the cell, not the actual number that is in it. Using cell references are beneficial if we need to update our reference value because we do not need to update any of our functions. They will be recalculated automatically. To demonstrate, let's double-click on cell L14, change our number to 20, and press Enter. Our table updated based on our absolute reference cell. This updatability works for both relative and absolute cell references. To verify this, let's change the value in cell L7 from 10 to 20. After we press Enter, our total is updated as well. We're now ready to correct some of the mistakes that we made previously when filling out our table. First, let's select cell F10 and press the Delete key so we can start from scratch. Next, we type -PMT and press Tab to accept the suggestion. For rate, we need to keep in mind that we want to use the fill handle for the other interest rates. So, let's select cell E10, but this time, let's make it an absolute cell reference by pressing the F4 key. Here's an additional tricky part. We want our calculations to take in our interest rates in column E instead of just cell E10. This means that our function needs to reference whatever value is in column E while continuing to move down the rows. Let's press the F4 key 2 more times so that our cell reference reads $E10. Once again, if the F4 key does not work on your computer, you can simply type a $sign before the letter E. Now, we divide that interest rate by 12. For number of periods, we select cell B4. We want Sheets to always reference this cell for all of our other interest rates. Let's press the F4 key to create an absolute cell reference for it. Our parameter now says $B, $4. Finally, for our present value parameter, we need to reference the loan amounts in row 9 starting at column F. To do this, we use an absolute reference for our row. So, we select cell F9, press the F4 key twice so that our reference says $9. This means that our calculation will reference the specific row but move down the columns. Now we press Enter and we see the same value we had before. Now that we have created absolute and relative cell references, let's try using the fill handle by dragging from cell F10 down to F18. Awesome! Now we have the monthly payments for a $15,000 loan at varying interest rates. Let's finish filling in the table by dragging the fill handle to cell J18 with the first column of data selected. Nice! The fill handle was able to extend our calculations to the other cells by taking in different absolute and relative cell references. In this video, we implemented absolute and relative cell references to apply a function across a table of data while using the fill handle. For more information about Google Sheets and other computer literacy topics, visit our website at weber.edu/clc.